The streets are a colossal, breathing entity, a monstrous monument to motion, an incessant sea of hurried faces, a river of whispered ambitions, and the eternal, brassy blare of horns that serves as the metropolis's jarring, high-tempo soundtrack. The air is thick with the scent of roasted coffee, exhaust fumes, and the nameless haste of a million lives in pursuit of something perpetually just out of reach. But beneath this vibrant, frantic surface, the city is a labyrinth of shadows. It holds secrets, and more importantly, lives that go completely unnoticed. Amidst the rush, there is a profound, aching solitude, lives on the margin. On a cracked slab of sun-warmed concrete lies one such existence. He had no name, merely a constellation of scars and a coat matted with the dust of 1,000 days. He had no home, no soft bed, only the dubious shelter of an abandoned storefront entrance, the glass long since shattered and boarded up. He had no kind hand to call his own, no memory of a gentle voice other than the echoes of shouts and shooing motions. He was just another shadow on the hot pavement, a stoic survivor, living on scraps in the world's absolute indifference. His existence was a masterclass in staying small, a testament to the primal need to endure. He moved like a ghost, his hunger a dull, persistent ache, his only companions the sound of his own breathing and the distant rumble of the subway deep beneath his feet. He was not always this way. In the quiet, forgotten corners of his mind, fragments of a different life flickered. The warmth of a small hand, the rhythmic pat of a leather leash, a name. Buddy? Duke. Softly spoken. These memories were like phantom limbs, painful reminders of something whole that was now irrevocably lost. He couldn't afford to mourn. Survival required a fierce, cold focus, a commitment to the present, not a luxury of grief for the past. His eyes, however, carried a silent wisdom, the harshness of the street etched into their amber depths, a deep-seated knowing of human nature's best and worst. Then there was Lily, a small, bright beacon of color in a monochrome world. She was a little girl with a soul too big for the busy streets, often lost in a world of colors and shapes that existed only on the pristine white pages of her sketchbook. Her pencils and fine-point markers were her best friends, her boundless imagination, her only safe haven. She had an artist's gift for seeing the potential in things. A chipped brick was a fairy castle, a discarded tire was a giant's bracelet, and the stray dog she sometimes saw, the one everyone ignored, was a brave, lonely knight in faded fur armor. She carried a bright yellow backpack, a canvas of silly hand-drawn patches, and a heart full of the kind of naive, open-ended wonder the city was determined to extinguish. Today, she was perched on a low stone wall near a fountain, her focus absolute. The chaos of the city spun around her, delivery bikes shrieking past, vendors hawking their wares, arguments flaring and dying. Yet Lily was still, finding comfort in creation, meticulously drawing perfect little worlds amidst the turmoil. Her drawing wasn't of the fountain, or the people. It was of a dog with a magnificent cape soaring over the skyscrapers, rescuing small, sad creatures. The straight dog, who she had mentally named Shadow, was curled up in his usual alcove, a discreet distance away. He watched her. She had never tried to pet him or even call him, and for that he was grateful. Most people either wanted something or wanted him gone, but Lily simply saw him, a quiet acknowledgement in her soft gaze. Sometimes she would leave a small, unwrapped cracker or a crust of bread a few feet from his spot, never looking back, never waiting for a thank you. A silent, non-verbal pact of kindness and respect had formed between the two lonely souls. Side by side, yet worlds apart. One, a creature of pure, unblemished potential. The other, a veteran of unforgiving reality. Destiny, however, is the greatest screenwriter, and it was about to connect these two isolated lives in the most unexpected and dramatic way, moving them from separate orbits to a single explosive point of intersection. The world outside wasn't the innocent fairy tale Lily drew. Danger, a cold, calculating force, lurked in the city's hidden seams, invisible to the busy eyes of the rushing masses. It was the low-frequency hum of malice, the constant low-level threat that all marginalized people, including the stray, intuitively understood. And on that day, in the golden hour light of the late afternoon, it found its prey. From the corner of the street, a shadow moved. It wasn't the slow, weary shadow of the stray, but a sharp, calculating silhouette, a human predator, silent and swift, moving with a practiced predatory ease. His eyes cold and assessing, were fixed on an easy target, a small, distracted girl alone with a bright yellow backpack that looked like a promising score. The thief, a man driven by desperation, or perhaps just callous opportunism, saw only an opportunity. He saw only a quick, clean chance for profit. The contents of the bag weren't important. The act of taking, the ease of the win was the point. Lily was completely absorbed, her brow furrowed in concentration as she shaded her hero dog's cape. As the man slipped closer, his movements disguised by the casual flow of pedestrian traffic, the world continued its indifferent rotation. People walked by, absorbed in their phones, their schedules, their own intricate, selfish dramas. They wore the city's blinders, a communal agreement not to notice anything that might inconvenience their pace. But the stray dog noticed. His head snapped up, the dull ache of hunger instantly replaced by a sharp, crystalline clarity. His instincts, forged by the harshness of survival, screamed a deafening warning, a primal alarm bell ringing deep in his chest. He didn't understand human motivations, but he understood posture. He saw the man's furtive, low-slung stance, the unnatural stiffness of his shoulders, the way his eyes never blinked as he stalked his target. He smelled the scent of threat, a raw, aggressive musk heading directly toward the small, peaceful figure drawing her cartoon hero. A terrifying tension gripped the stray. He was a master of flight, of disappearing. His whole life had been about avoiding conflict, about shrinking from notice. He had no collar, no owner. He had no logical reason to care. It was safer to run, easier to simply melt back into the shadows and wait for the danger to pass as he had done 100 times before. The self-preservation instinct honed over years of hunger and cold urged him to retreat.
The man acted in a flash. 1 second he was a pedestrian, the next he was a violent aggressor. He ripped Lily's backpack with brutal, sudden force. The sound of the cheap nylon tearing was momentarily eclipsed by the girl's sharp, truncated scream, a desperate, high-pitched plea for help that was immediately swallowed by the roar of a passing city bus, a monstrous sound that no one heard. For a terrifying, endless second, Lily was completely helpless. Her world of caped heroes shattered. Fear, cold, paralyzing, froze her tears. She tumbled backward, her drawing pencils scattering like fallen dominoes, her small hands still clutching the straps of the bag even as her feet slid out from under her. The thief already had a grip on the strap, a grim, satisfied sneer on his face, savoring the easy victory. He was about to turn and vanish into the labyrinth of the crowd, but as he pulled, feeling the satisfying resistance of the theft, he was met by a force he never expected to encounter. It was the stray dog. The same dog everyone ignored, the one they shooed away with a wave of the hand or a muttered curse. He didn't come in a mindless, barking attack, but with the cold, controlled power of a living wall. He had launched himself forward, not for a bite, but to create a barrier. He stood squarely between the thief and the small, trembling girl. His posture was not the madness of blind aggression, but one of icy, magnificent determination. His lip was curled back, exposing teeth honed by years of gnawing bones, and a deep, guttural growl rose from his chest, a sound that wasn't of anger, but an act of pure, distilled, selfless defense. It was a sound that warned, "Cross this line, and you pay a price you cannot afford." The man, a veteran of opportunistic crime, was startled, then genuinely intimidated. He had anticipated a victim, maybe a few onlookers. He had not budgeted for a wild, hungry animal with nothing to lose. The threat of a cornered, protective animal, an unpredictable force driven by instinct, was suddenly and profoundly greater than his meager greed. A dog bite was a lasting, visible consequence. An angry crowd was fleeting. He swore under his breath, his eyes darting to the dog's unwavering stance. The small window of opportunity had slammed shut. He let go of the backpack with a final, frustrated tug. He ran, disappearing into the dense, uncaring tide of the crowd. Defeated not by a policeman, not by a citizen, but by the raw, loyal heart of a dog. The commotion finally did what the scream couldn't. It drew attention. The absence of the struggle, the sheer stillness after the violence, caused a break in the city's rhythmic indifference. People gathered, their phones suddenly drawn not for calls, but for capturing the spectacle. Soon the sharp, anxious wail of police sirens and the more reassuring sounds of a rescue team arrived. They found Lily, safe but still shaking, her small body curled around her crumpled yellow backpack. And by her side, the hero dog. He was no longer growling. He sat, calm but incredibly alert, his flanks heaving from the adrenaline surge, his mission complete. He had risked everything, his life of anonymity, his fragile safety, for a life that was not his own. The police and paramedics had to gently coax him away from her, and it was clear from his anxious, watchful eyes that he only complied because Lily was now in the hands of protectors. He didn't bolt. He stood off to the side, a sentinel of tattered fur. The story spread like wildfire, a welcome crack of light in the city's usual grim narrative. The dog, once a ghost, a blur on the periphery, was now the center of attention. His act of uncalculated bravery was undeniable, a simple truth in a world of complexity. Lily's family's gratitude was immense. Her mother, her face stained with tears, didn't look at the dog with fear or disgust, but with a gaze of reverence and profound indebtedness. They looked at their daughter's protector and saw more than a stray. They saw a loyal heart, a magnificent spirit, and a legendary courage that shamed every hurried passerby. The stray dog who had no name and no home gained both in a single day. Lily insisted on the name, pointing to the superhero she'd drawn on her backpack. He was named Hero. The former survivor of the pavement, the one who slept in doorways and ate scraps, was now a beloved family member. He was bathed, fed the finest food, and most importantly, was given a soft bed, a luxury he initially regarded with suspicion, preferring the cold floor, until Lily gently covered him with a blanket. Hero was no longer a shadow to be ignored. He was living proof that the greatest value often lies where it's least expected, that nobility can be found under a coat of matted fur, and that the purest form of guardianship can be a silent, powerful choice. He was the lesson the city desperately needed to learn, that true worth is not measured by possessions or status, but by the willingness to sacrifice for another. Hero's story is more than a happy ending for one brave dog. It is a powerful, visceral reminder that the purest kindness and the fiercest courage can come from the most unexpected places. The life you overlook, the struggle you ignore, might be the very life that holds the capacity to save yours. Every stray dog has a story, a history, a soul. And every abandoned life can hold the biggest, most loyal heart. There are countless other heroes waiting on the streets, curled in alcoves, shivering under bridges, waiting for a chance to show the world their priceless worth. They are not problems to be solved or shadows to be avoided. They are potential partners, loyal friends, and selfless protectors. You can be their chance. You can be the one who finally sees the hero under the grime. If Hero's incredible story touched your heart, if it reminded you to slow down and look past the surface, please hit the subscribe button and share this video to spread this vital message of hope, compassion, and the power of second chances. Every life is worth saving. Every silent hero deserves a home. Thank you for watching. And remember, always look for the hearts on the streets. They are the true treasures of the city.